Welcome, everyone. This is LanceScurvX. This is the Scurv podcast. I know the title caught your eye. This particular segment is not about bashing anyone. And yes, there are two sides to every coin. I'm starting out on this side. Why do some black men hate black women? Now, brothers, don't jump to conclusions and say, well, there are some black women who hate black men. Yes, but like I always love to say, I'm going in with surgical precision. And this is where we're starting out. There are vast reasons why. Some, remember, some in the title, meaning not all black men hate black women. But I can't cover all of them because everyone's situation is different. And again, this is not clickbait. As you well know, I like to speak on the topics that most people are not too comfortable to speak about. And it's not in a heated way. I have no agenda because I love black women. Don't take this as I'm saying I lust black women. I have in the past, but respectfully so, consenting adults. But I love their essence. I love their core. I love their beauty, inner and outer. I simply adore all of them who are balanced and who can listen to logic. And I think many of our sisters get a bad rap on social media. There are some who I would say deserve the bad rap because they too may be unhealed and speaking out of pain. But again, that's another segment. We're focusing on, let me say the title again, why do some black men hate black women? When unhealed black men attack black women for pain they never fixed. The drama in your head is not everyone else's problem. I'm speaking to the brothers. Let's go. There's a growing sickness spreading through our community, and many people don't even realize that they're infected. It is the habit of carrying personal pain, personal trauma, and personal hang-ups, then dumping that mess onto people who had nothing to do with creating it in the first place. Instead of doing the hard work of healing, too many people choose to walk through life pointing fingers and blaming everyone around them. Social media has made this sickness worse. A person can now log online and find thousands of others who feel the same bitterness they feel. Instead of being challenged to grow, they get surrounded by voices that tell them they are right to stay angry, right to stay bitter, and right to stay broken. This problem is not limited to one gender. Men and women both fall into this trap. But lately, there has been a very loud wave of bitterness coming from some black men who have convinced themselves that black women as a whole are the enemy. Instead of looking within they project their pain outward, which makes it even more dangerous is that many of these men appear confident, outspoken, and sure of themselves. But behind that loud voice is often a wounded spirit that never healed from past experiences. Instead of admitting that pain, they turn their frustration into attacks on Black women. And the saddest part of all is that this mindset destroys their own chances at the very thing they claim they want: a healthy relationship with a good Black woman. Social media has become a breeding ground for unhealed minds. There was a time when a man who had bitterness toward women might talk about it with a few friends. Maybe someone would challenge them. Maybe someone would tell him he needed to grow up. But today, the internet allows that same man to gather inside echo chambers where everyone shares the same anger. These spaces don't encourage growth. They encourage resentment. When a man joins a group where thousands of other men are repeating the same complaints about Black women, he begins to believe his personal experience represents reality. His one bad experience becomes proof that all Black women are the same. Instead of questioning himself, he finds comfort in blaming others. And when that blame gets repeated thousands of times online, it begins to feel like truth. But the truth is much more complicated than that. Unhealed childhoods can shape a man's view of women. One painful truth many people avoid talking about is how childhood experiences shape adult relationships. Many Black men grew up during chaotic times. Some grew up in homes where addiction was present. Some watched their mothers struggle with drugs during the crack epidemic. Some were neglected. Some were embarrassed by the behavior they witnessed growing up. When a young boy sees instability from the first woman in his life, that experience can quietly shape how he views women later on. Even if he never says it out loud, the pain stays in his mind. Years later, when he meets a woman who reminds him of that chaos, the emotions come back. Instead of recognizing the deeper wound, he may project anger toward women as a group. This is not an excuse for that behavior, but it's one explanation. Healing requires facing those old wounds honestly. Bad relationship choices can create false beliefs. Another reality that many men refuse to admit is that they sometimes choose the wrong partners from the beginning. Too often, attraction is based purely on physical desire. A man sees a beautiful body, a pretty face, or an exciting personality and convinces himself that he has found the woman he wants to build a life with. But beauty alone does not equal character. A woman can look like a dream and still carry emotional chaos. A man who ignores those warning signs because he is driven by lust is setting himself up for disappointment. When that relationship crashes, instead of admitting he ignored the red flags, he may blame women in general. But the truth is simple. If a man chooses a partner based only on physical attraction, he should not be surprised when the relationship lacks depth. The dating market can wound people who are not prepared. Modern dating can be a brutal environment. People lie, people manipulate, people pretend to be someone they are not. A man who enters that world without emotional maturity can easily be taken advantage of. When that happens, the betrayal can leave a deep scar. Instead of learning from the experience and becoming wiser, some men allow the pain to turn into bitterness. They start believing that every woman operates the same way. This belief poisons future relationships before they even begin. Because when a man approaches every woman with suspicion, anger, and distrust, he creates the very conflict he fears. Media and social programming have distorted our view of relationships. Another factor that cannot be ignored is the influence of media. For decades, images have been pushed that create division between black men and black women. Television, music, movies, and social media often highlight the worst examples while ignoring the positive ones. Over time, these images sink into the subconscious. Some men begin to believe that being with a woman from another race, as illustrated on the image in front of you, somehow represents success or an upgrade. That lie has been quietly planted for generations. But a healthy relationship is not about chasing an image. It's about building a real bond with someone who understands your culture, your history, and your struggles. When a man is mentally poisoned by false images, he may overlook the good women right in front of him. Many good women are paying the price for other people's pain. While this chaos continues online, many good black women are simply living their lives. They're working, building, growing, and looking for a healthy partner. But they are often approached by men who are carrying emotional baggage from past relationships. Some of these men walk up with anger already in their voice. Some start conversations with accusations. Some speak about black women as if they are all guilty of the same crime. Imagine minding your own business and suddenly being blamed for something you had nothing to do with. This is happening more often than people realize. And it pushes good women away from men who might otherwise have had a chance at something really beautiful. Healing is the only way forward. The harsh truth is that we cannot build strong families while carrying unhealed minds. A man who refuses to examine his own mistakes will repeat the same patterns again and again. Each failed relationship becomes another excuse to blame women instead of looking in the mirror. But growth begins with honesty. Sometimes the relationship failed because the woman was toxic. That happens. We will talk about that in another episode that focuses on women going in, as I say, with surgical precision. But sometimes it failed because the man was not ready, not mature, or not willing to see reality. Without that level of self-reflection, nothing will change. The battle between black men and black women is one of the most tragic conflicts in our community. Two groups who are meant to support each other are being pushed further apart by pain, ego, and misunderstanding. Social media is pouring gasoline on the fire every single day. People are rewarded for being loud, angry, and extreme. Calm voices rarely go viral. But if we are serious about building strong families and strong communities, we cannot allow bitterness to guide our thinking. Every man must do his own internal house cleaning. Every woman must do the same. Healing is not optional if we want real love. The good black man and the good black woman are not enemies. They are two halves of the same future. But that future will only exist if we clear the fog from our minds and stop blaming each other for wounds we never took the time to heal. Black love is the foundation for our global uprising as a people, and some of us are doing the heavy lifting of those who support the oppressive system that perpetually keeps us on the bottom rung of society unless we wake up. I'm going to leave it at that because we're going to go in even deeper. But I want to hear at this point how you feel about the thoughts that I shared, because I'm never afraid to bite my tongue. And I'm always going to speak from the heart, and I'm always going to speak the truth, or at least my truth, from what I've seen throughout my life. And again, this is not bashing the good black men, but those who hate black women are out of order, because if you had a bad experience, a bad upbringing, or something that happened to you, maybe you were influenced by other bitter black men, whatever it is that left that imprint in your heart and in your psyche, it's up to you to clean it away. If you're inside of your home and you never cleaned your windows, it doesn't mean that the beautiful sunny day is a dirty world because you didn't clean your windows. Heal yourself up, look within, and be accountable. And maybe, just maybe, you'll connect with a good black woman and receive the very thing your heart desires. Much love to you all. On to the next one, like I always say. LanceScurvX out. Leave your comment. Peace.